So we started working with the kinder, right? So in the kinder, so we have seen how to work with the, yeah, this is kinder. So using kinder, we can develop. So GUI applications are Windows based applications, right? So we can develop GUI applications or Windows based applications. So yesterday, so there are multiple libraries out there. There is multiple libraries out there to work with the kinder here. Multiple libraries out there. Okay. So there is a kinder and WX Python. Okay. Kinder is there. And WX Python, PyQt and Kiwi. All these are different libraries which are used for developing which applications here? GUI applications. Okay. So, okay. Now, first thing what you're doing in this is, first one is a TK class. Okay. TK class. Now, this class or this object. So, TK is a root widget. Okay, it is a root widget for developing, okay, GUI application. Now, TK object represents which one here? Window. So first thing is you have to create what here? Window. But how you are creating a window? By using the class called which one? TK. So it is a root widget and TK object represents what here? Window. TK object represent a window, right? So if you want to create a window, you can create a window by using which one? TK. Okay. So just so what I'm doing is I'm trying to say import TK enter. So what I'm doing is I'm creating some W equal to TK. So what will happen? This will create one window. Okay. The mouse where is it? Slow. So once you run this, so but this TK class is there inside what? Enter. So TK enter dot TK. Now this is created one object here. Now this object is what here? Window. So how you are creating a window You are creating a window by using which class? TK class. So TK is a root object. Okay. So kinter dot, what is the name of this here? Function. This will return. Okay. So here, TK function, it helps to display the root window and manages all other components of the kinter application. Okay. But what this window is having some properties. Okay. This TK is having some properties here. Okay. Okay. So it is providing some. ఒక్కరోజే ఉంటుంది ఇది కనిపించదు. కొత్తది పెడతారు, రేపు ఉండదు ఇది, మళ్ళీ రేపు ఏదో పెట్టేస్తారు. Oh, sorry. So once you create a TK, now this TK represents what a window. So this window is created. Okay. And after that, this window. So in the size window by using what here? Geometry. So this you can use it to define the size of the window. And this window size you define in pixels, right? So 300 is a width and 500. Okay. Yes. Now once you create a window, now to this window you can change the background. So window dot, you can change the properties of it by using config. Now what color you want to define? Some BG, which is nothing but background color. So I just try to define the background color of this window. Now this you can call it as background color of the window. Okay, any color you can give. You can define the properties. Whichever property you want to assign, just give that properties. Now this is the background color of the window. So that can be changed by using which one here? Config. Window.config. You can define the background color. And even you can define the foreground. Foreground means text color. Now, if you try to display any text, the text get displayed in which color? Red. But are you displayed any text here? No. So a foreground color. I think this is a window, right? Window doesn't have text, right? So this is which color here? Background color, right? So that you can define it by using which one? B. Okay, now you can define some properties related with what? Window. But how you are creating a window? By using which class here? TK class. So once you create a window, inside that window, inside this window, you create other components. So there is a component called which one? Label. So what is the next widget you have is a label widget. So this is label. Okay, this label object. Okay, label object. Okay, represents what is a display item. So we can display text. We can display text. We can display text within window using which widget here? Label widget. Now what is the syntax of this label is? You are saying label. and you are creating this label within window. Now here you have to give the root object name. The root is nothing but what here? Window. And then it followed by text. What text you want to display it. And it followed by the font. And it followed by the background color. And it followed by what here? Foreground color. So all these are the properties or attributes of label. So here is root is nothing but, okay, so the window where, okay, window object name where this label is placed. So where you are placing this label within window, okay, and text is nothing but a string. Text is a string which is displayed inside a label, which is displayed inside what here? Label. Then font. So font which represent a tuple, which is represented as a tuple, okay, which consists of font name, and what is that? Size. And the BG is nothing but here background color of label. FG is nothing but foreground color or text color of the label. Text color or foreground color. Okay, foreground color of which one here? Label. So there is a background color and there is a foreground color. So here I created a window. So inside this window, I create one label by saying tk enter dot, what I'm saying here, label. So where I am displaying the label inside window. So I have to define the object. So what is the object I defined here? Window. I'm placing this label. I'm placing this label inside what? Window. And what is the text of this label is? I just write here, text of this label is username. What is the text of this label? Username. And I try to define the font. So font of this label is Arial. And the size is given some 4. So I try to define the background color of this label. So any color you can give. And you can define the foreground color of the label. Now this is foreground color. So I created one label. I try to create one more label saying tk enter dot, what I'm saying here, label. And I want to place this label inside what? Window. Then what is the text of this here? Password. Then what is the font? I have to define the font here. So this is a font. And I try to define the background color. I try to define the foreground color of this particular label. So here I created labels. That's all. I created labels, but is it these labels are displayed here? No. The labels are not displayed. But I have to display these labels or not? Yes. So I have to place these labels in a specific position. So for that you will try to use label 1 dot. So there is a place where you want to place this label within window. So you have to define the X position. So I just give the X position as some 100 and Y position as what here? 50. So I said X position is 100 and Y position is 50. If I run this, now this label is displayed. So the X position as well as what? Y position. X position is 100. X is 100 and Y is what here? 50. And label 2 dot place. X is the same, but I'm trying to change the Y and I just give the Y as what again? 100. So this is username and this is what here? Password. But this is only for label, only for displaying it. This is only display. You cannot input anything inside this label. Okay. So label is only for display, only for what here? Display. Okay. So place, it followed by X position as well as what? Y position. Where you want to place the label, where you want to place the label, you define the X position and Y position by using which one? Place. Place is a method of which object? Label object. Now every widget is having this method called place. By using this place method, you can place these widgets inside what? Window at given X position and what? Y position. You can place inside the window at given X position and Y position. So that is done by using which method here? Place method. Okay, but label is only for displaying. It is only for display item. But if you want to input anything, if you want to input anything, right? How can I input if I want to input now entry widget. So your entry widget represents input input item. This is a syntax of which widget here? Entry widget. So where you want to create this entry widget inside the window. What is the width of this entry widget? What is the foreground color? What is the background color? What is the font? Whether you want to display the content of by using which one? Show. For example, I want to input username as well as what? Password. So entry one equal to tk enter dot. What is the widget here? Entry widget within window. And what is the width of this? Is some 15 characters I can input. And font, I just given the font is Arial. Okay, now I can define the background color of this. So background color of this, I just write the background color. I try to define the foreground color, and this is a foreground color. Then that's all. Okay. So this is one entry widget. I try to define one more. tk enter dot entry within the window, and this is the width of the and font is, what is the name of the font is Arial, and the font size is foreground color and the same foreground color, and show equal to star, because password should be visible or not visible, not visible. If you type anything, it will show which one here? Stars. If you type anything, it will show you what here? Stars. Okay. So then I said show equal to which one here? Star. Then entry widget dot place. So where I'm saying x equal to 150, x equal to 150 and y equal to what? 50. So x equal to 150 and y is the same, but which one is changed here? X is changed. So this y is the same, but x is changed here because I want to display in the same line. Now see, I have to move this side. Okay, a little bit here. Now x equal to some 250 I have taken. So it is moved here. Now where I can input? Now background color is there. So where I can input what? Username. So this is input value. Now you can input the values within what? Entry widget. This is called as an entry widget. Entry widget where you can input the values. So there is one more here, entry widget 2 dot place. What is the X position here? 250, and Y position is what here? 100. Now I try to input username, I try to input password. But is it password is shown or not shown? Not shown because I said show what here? Star. So whenever you input the value, it will show you what here? Star. Okay, now this is where you input the values. If you want to input the values, you'll try to use which widget? Entry widget. If you want to display it, then you'll use which widget? Label widget. If you want to input anything, you'll try to use which widget? Entry widget. And if you want to display anything, you are trying to use label. After doing this, if you want to perform any operation, if you want to perform any operation, then how you perform the operation? Okay, if you want to perform any operation, you try to place which one here? Button. If you want to perform any operation, if you want to perform any operation, you are performing the operation using which one? Button widget. So button widget is it. So button widget, you can use this button widget. Okay, so this button widget. So this widget is used to perform which one here? Some operations. If you want to execute certain commands or if you want to perform certain operations, you are trying to execute certain commands or you are trying to perform certain operations by using which widget here? Button widget. Okay. So what is the syntax? Are executing commands used for executing what here? Commands. You are trying to execute the commands even by using which widget? Button widget. Okay. You are trying to execute the commands also using which widget? Button widget. So just try to understand this, what exactly it is. Okay, right? Yes. Now, what is the syntax of using this button widget? You are trying to create a button like this button. So where you are creating a button within root. So there is a root widget here. Okay. And then you need to define the text of this button. You have to define the text of this button. Again, same properties for all these are what is that? Same. But here you have one extra property. What is that? Command. So command is nothing but a function which has to be executed when you click on the button. Okay. Command. So command is a function here. Function which has to be executed or which is executed when click on which one? Button. So, but this command is represented as a function. This command is represented as what here? Function. This command is represented as one function here. Okay. So what I'm doing is I try to place some buttons here. Some B1 equal to TK enter dot. What is this here? Button inside window. Then you try to define the, so what is that text of this window? So text of this button, what is the text of this button? Sign in. Now button one dot place. Now I want to place some X is 100 only. X is 100 only, but Y I'm giving it as what? 150. Now can, okay, now you can see the button. So this is which button here? Sign in button. Okay, if you want to define the font of this button or width and height of the button, you can also define the width and height of this particular button. You can also define, please. So you can also define the width and height of the button. Okay, once you run this, now there is a button called which one? Sign in. So once you click on sign in, then it should perform certain operation. See, you can also define the width. You can say width. So width of this particular button. So width of this button, you can define width of this button in pixels, right? You can define some width. I'm just given width is 15. Now this is how you define the width of the button. Okay. So width of the button you can define, and you can also define the height. Now once I run this, this is the width of the button. So once I click on sign in, then it should perform certain operations. So there is a sign in, and I try to place one more button. And what is one other button is sign in is there, and one more is what here? Close. So there is one more button called close. Now button 2 dot place. So where X is some 250 and Y is same. X is 250 and Y is a same. Now two buttons are there. One is sign in and one more is what here? Close. So but when I click on this buttons, I should perform certain operations. So for that, you have to give what here? Command. You have to give the command. So command is used to represent a function which has to be done when you click on the button. Okay, so command is nothing but a function which has to be executed when you click on the button. So for that, you are trying to use which simple. So let us see the simple application where reading the data and performing certain operations. So I want to develop a simple calculator like this. So what I'm doing is where I'm trying to input some numbers here. So this is how I try to input some numbers. Okay. So two numbers. Then I want to display the result here. So there is a label called a result. So this is for displaying what here? Result. And I want to place some buttons here. So the button is add. So there is a button called subtract. And you have a button called multiply. and there's one more button called division. So this is having number of buttons here. So there is a add button is there, and there is a sub, and there is a multiply, and there is one more button which is called as division. So I want to develop this application here. So let us see how to develop. So this one, so you have to write the code. Okay. So import tk enter, import tk enter. So I just write here as some t. So I try to access with what name? Alias name. First thing is you have to create one window. So this is used for creating one window, right? After creating a window, just define the size of this window. So I just define the size of this window. After defining the size of this window, now I'm trying to create some labels. So T dot, I'm trying to use what here? Label. So within window, and what is the text is? The text is nothing but number. I just give the size of it. Okay, this label. So this is a label 1. So I have to create label 2 as well as label 3. Now this you can call it as label 2 and this is label 3. And what is the label 3 here is result. Okay, then I have to create the entry fields again. T dot entry within window, and the width I've given some 10. So this is a font, the text here. So I need to create how many entry fields? 3 entry fields. Okay, so that is entry field 1 and entry field 2 and then entry field what here? 3. So I try to give how many entry fields here? 3 entry fields. Okay. So then after that, I have to create some buttons here. So T dot, I'm creating one button within window. And the text of this button is what here? Add. Text of this button is add. So I try to define the font and size. And the width of this button is some 10. So I need to create how many buttons here? 4 buttons. So 4 buttons I have to create. Button 2, button 3, and button 4. So then after that I have to place this. Now I can use a place to place this widgets in a given position. If I want to place this widgets in a given position, I can use what here? Place. But there is other methods also there to place it. Okay, there are other methods also there to place it. Okay. Now there is a method called grid. Okay, grid is nothing but where you organize this widgets in the form of rows and columns by dividing into rows and columns. So grid is one more. Okay, place means your own place where you can place it, X position as well as what? Y position. But you can also use which one? Grid. So actually this grid, place, all these are called layout managers. Layout means organizing. How to organize, that is defined by what? Layout managers. Okay. So place is defined by the programmer, but grid is defined by the grid system only. You need to define only the row and what is that? Columns. This is called as layout manager. Okay. You have to see what your layout manager. You have to change this. This is what text is what here? Sub, and this text is what here? Multiply, and this text is what? Division. So L1 dot grid, I'm saying some row is one, and column is what here? One. Okay, L2 dot grid. Okay, row is a two, and column is what again? One. L3 dot grid. Okay, row is a three, and column is also one. So rows are changing, but column is what here? Same. Rows are changing, but columns are what here? Same. Okay, rows are changing, but columns are what here? Same. Now you can see number. Okay, first number, second number, and what is that? Result. So this is a first column, and then this is a second column. Okay, so I can define. Now, beside this, I want to display which one? Entry fields. Entry one dot grid. I just write row one, but column is what here? Two. A row one, but column is a two. See here. This is a first column, and this is what here? Second column. So I don't require to define anything like exposition and what is that? Y. So grid row two, and column is what again? Two. Entry field three dot grid. Okay, row three, and column is what here? Two. Now if you run this, now where you are trying to input numbers here, now this is 1020. Yes. Now result is displayed here. Okay. Result is displayed here. Now what you can do it? You can place the buttons. Button one dot grid. What is that? Row four, and column is what here? One. Button two dot grid. Row four, but column is what here? Two. Button three dot grid. Row five, and I take column is one. Button four dot grid. Okay, row five, and column is what? Two. I can see these are the buttons: add, sub, multiply, and division. So you can define. You can reduce the width and height here. So width, height, you can decrease. Now where you can input some numbers, 1020, and once you click on add, sub, multiply, you should add it, and subtract and multiply. So display the result here, right? Okay. Then when you click on this button, I should perform certain operation. Then what will I do? I'll say command. Okay. I'll say command. So what is the command here? Add. I'm calling which function here? Add function. So what is the command I use here? Add. Now when I click on this, it will call which function here? Add function. So when I click on this, it should call which function? Add. But are you write anything inside add? No. Add is empty or not? Yes. So when I click on add, then it will call the add function, and I just display the message on console, right? Now add function is called automatically. But when you click on add, then only should call it, right? So when you click on add, it is called which function? Add function. When you click on add, it is called which function? Add function. Okay. Yes. Now for that, so there is a function called which one here? Add. So there is another function. Now when you click on this sub, then you should call the function called which one? Sub. So when you click on multiply, then you should call the function called which one? Multiply. So when you click on division, then you should call the function called what? Division. You should call the function called division here. Okay. So there is add function, and there is sub function, and there is a multiply function, and there is a division function. So what I have to do within add function, I should read the values from entry field. So I'm reading the values from entry field by saying entry field one dot get whatever value enter inside entry field. You read the value of that entry field one, and you read the value of that entry field two. So entry field one dot get. So this value you are converting into which type? Integer type. You are reading the value from entry field 2, and you are converting this value again into which type? Integer type. And after all, add. So where I said n3 equal to n1 plus, what is that here? End. So it means you are trying to add these two values and assigning to which variable here? N3. Entry field 3 by using what here? Insert. So entry field is just like a string only. What is entry field? It's just like stringer. In string you insert, insert stringer. You insert string from which position? 0 position. From 0 is nothing but index. From 0 onwards you insert this stringer. What is that string you are inserting? N3. N3 is nothing but result. What is N3 here? Result. Now I just put this pass here. So pass. Now once you run this, enter the first number, which is 10 and 20. Click on add. Displayed what here? 30. Now what will happen? Again I enter 80 and click on add. What happened here? Now previous result also there or not? Yes. Previous result is there and current result both are there, right? But before inserting this current result, I have to remove previous result. I have to delete the previous result. And how can you delete the previous result? By sorry. So what you have to do is you have to remove the value from entry field 3, right? You have to remove the value from entry field 3 from which position onwards? From 0 position onwards till end. So Kinter is providing one constraint called which one here? Yes, end is there. End is there. Now if I click on add, but anyway there's no value, right? So I'll try to input two values and just click on array. What is this? T dot end or removing, right? So remove, yes. Now what I'm trying to do is I try to input 10 and 20 and just click on add. So after adding, this is what here? 30. Then I enter some 100 and 200 and just click on add. Now this time it is what? 300. Anyways, before inserting any value, first what you're doing, you are deleting the content of this entry field 3. But how you are deleting the content of this field? Okay, you are deleting the content of this field. Yeah, you are deleting the content of this field by using a method called what? Delete. You are using one method called what here? Delete. So using delete, you are trying to delete. Okay, using delete, you are trying to delete the content from 0 to what? End. But after deleting, what you are doing it? You are inserting result. But from where you are inserting result? From 0 onwards, right? So this is when you click on add, but same logic. Is the same logic for which one? Sub, and same logic for division, and same logic for multiply, and same logic for division. But only the thing is you have to change the operator. Now n1 minus n2, n1 into n2, and this is n1 divided by n2. So just run this. Now I try to input some 5 and 2. So this is adding, and this is subtraction, and this is multiplying, and this is division. But if you want to perform any operation, when you click on the button, you perform that operation by calling one function. Okay, and you call that function by using one attribute. So when the command is executed, when you click on the button, when the command is executed is when you click on the button. Now this is how you handle the events. If you want to handle the events, you can handle it. If you want to handle the events, you can handle it by using which one here? Command, right? Now see here, Kinter can be treated as front end, and your database can be treated as what? Back end, right? Kinter can be treated as a front end, right? Front end. Kinter can be a front end, and your database can be what here? Back end. Now, for example, I want to develop a simple application where, now this is my application where I have two buttons here. Two buttons are there. One is a sign up. What is the button you have here? Sign up. And there is one more button is there. And what is this button is? Sign in. So two buttons are there. One is a sign up button, and one more is what here? Sign in button. Okay. Now when I click on sign up, then it should display one window. So in this window, you'll try to input the user details. You try to input user details like name and username, and what is that? Password. You try to input these details, name, username, and one more is a password. So after giving this name, username, and password, you just click on the button called which one? Sign up. So once you click on sign up, the user will be registered. By storing this user details, when you click on sign up, then it should communicate with the database. Okay, assume that this is my any database you can take. Assume that this is which database? Oracle database. And within Oracle database, you have a table, right? What is that table you have? User register table. There is a table, user register table. Now you are inserting values. Okay, you are inserting values into which table? user register table. And there's one more button is there called sign in. When you click on sign in, I should display one more window. So where you are trying to input what? Username, and you are trying to input what here? Password. Okay, now once you click on sign in, then you should verify whether this username and password is valid or invalid. Whether this username password is valid or invalid. Now here there is a button called which one? Sign in. Sign in is there. Now once you click on sign in, so you should communicate with the database and you should verify is it this any user with this username and password. If there is any user with this username and password, you should allow to access your application resources. Otherwise, you have to display some error message, right? So this is a simple application. So, but where we are using the backend as what here? Database. So that means your application is communicating with what? Database. Now, using this approach, you can develop a simple projects. So, Kinter is a front end, and your database is what here? Backend. Okay. Kinter is a front end, your database is a backend. Kinter is a front end and database is a back. Now, how can I develop this particular application, right? Yes. Now, in this, you have a two operations. One is sign up and one more is what? Sign in. Two operations are there. One is sign up is there and one more operation is there called which one? Sign in. But when you click on sign up, you are displaying which window? Sign up window. When you click on sign in, you are displaying which window? Sign in window. So I can able to create multiple windows here. Multiple windows. You are trying to create multiple windows, and each window is having one operation. Then what you can do is you can divide this into number of functions rather than writing everything inside one function. You can divide this into what? Number of functions. Okay, number of functions, so that understanding becomes what here? Easy. So TK inter as what here? T. And here my application is communicating with what here? Database. Now import CX. Now CX underscore what is that? Oracle. Import Kinter as a T and import what is that here? CX underscore Oracle. Okay. Yes. Now this is, so what I'm doing is I'm creating one main window. So there is a function called which one here? Main window. So there is a function called which one here? Okay, sign in window. There is a function called which one? Sign in window. And there is a function called which one here? Sign up window. So here we have not write the logic into one. We try to divide into how many functions here? 3 functions. Okay. So first step, now this is the main function, but main function calls which window here? Main window. So it will call only main window. From main window, you'll be calling which function? Sign in window. And main window calls which function? Sign up window. Okay. So main window should be written first before that. Now here I'm writing simply, okay, I'm trying to say what here? Pass. And here also which one? Pass, because we'll write this later. Now here I'm creating a main window. So W equal to, how can I create a window? By using TK. How can I create a window? By using TK here. So T dot TK and window dot, you can define size of the window some 200 by 200. So I try to create how many buttons inside this? Two buttons. Now this is button one. So what is the text of this button is sign up, and the font is what here? Arial. So I try to define the width. So width is given some 10. So then next is button 2 equal to T dot button inside the window, and text equal to what is that? Sign in. So I try to define the font of this window. So this is a width. So width of the button is again 10. And button 1 dot place. So where you want to place it? I just taken X position as 100 and Y position is what here? 50 here. So if I run this, but just increase the width of the window. Now you can see there is a sign up, and one more button is there. What is that button? 2 dot place. X is the same. X is 100 and Y is also what here? 100. Now you can see there are two buttons. One is sign in and one more is what? Sign up. But when I click on sign in, I should call sign in function. So here I'm writing command. Command equal to, first one is sign up function, sign up window function. What is that? Sign up window function I'm calling. And when you click on the second button, I'm calling which function here? Sign in window function. We are calling sign up window function, and one more is sign in window function, but you are not written anything. Now first you have to write which one here? Sign up window. So in sign up window, now again you are creating one window. Okay, so this is some window 1 equal to T dot, what I'm saying here? TK. Okay, T dot TK and window 1 dot. So again you define size of this window, some 300 by, okay, 300 by 300. Then you try to define the labels. T dot label. So within window 1 and text equal to name. Text is a name and define the font of this. Okay, define the font of this. So first label is a name, and what is the second label here? Username. Label 2 is a username, and label 3 is what here? Password. So text, and this is what here? Password. So these are the labels. What all these are? Labels. Then I have to define the entry fields. Now T dot entry within window, I try to define the width. So font size I'm giving it. Okay, this is entry field 1 where you enter username, name, username, and one more is password, and password should not be displayed. So this is called as entry field 3 and this is entry field 2. So how many entry fields are there? 3 are there. So there is one more which is called as a button. So button equal to some T dot button, and within window 1, and what is the text of this button is sign up. The text of this button is sign up. Okay, then this font of this button is given And command, when you click on this button, it will call one function called which one? Sign up. It will call one function called sign up, but I have to display. Now I have to write a function called which one? Sign up. Okay, now this is a function what? Sign up. Now not written anything in sign up, but this sign up function is called when you click on which one? Button. The sign up function is called when you click on the button here. So when you click on sign up, then it should establish connection to what? Database. And it should send which command? Insert command. Okay. You should send the insert command. Now you need to place all this. Label 1. Label 1.grid. I'm using a grid layout here. So I can take row 1 and column 1 here 1. Label 2.grid, row 2 and column 1. Label 3.grid, row 3 and column 1. Entry field 1.grid, row 1, column 2. Entry field 2.grid, so row 1 and column is what here? 2. Entry field 3.grid, so row 1 and this is row 2 and this is row 3 and then what? Column. So row 3 and column 2. And button 1.grid, I said row 4 and column is what here? 1. So this is displaying it. Okay, this is displaying. So once you run this, now if I click on sign up, now this is sign up window. So where in sign up window you enter name and username and you enter password and then click on what? Sign up. When you click on sign up, it should store these details into what? Database. And then it should close the window. Okay. It should store this. It should store these details into a database and close the window, right? Then here I'm trying to declare some global variables like connection. Global. Global means I can use this connection in two functions. That is in sign up window as well as sign in window. Now cx underscore oracle dot, what I'm saying? Connect. cx underscore oracle dot connect. So what is the database username? System. Password is manager. And it is a local host. Database name is X. Then even I'm creating a global cursor by saying connection dot what here? Cursor. So I declare these two variables as global because I can use this connection and cursor in sign up window as well as what? Sign in window. So what I have to do in sign up now? So already connection is established. We have to read the values from those entry fields. Now first one we have to read what? Name. E1 dot. What is that here? Get. Second one is you have to read the username. E2 dot get. So third one is you have to read the password. So E3 dot get. So what is my command now? Insert into user register table values colon 1 colon 2 and colon 3. So is it command is with values or with arguments? Arguments. So then cursor dot execute. Execute the command by sending how many values? 3 values. Name, username, and one more is password. So get the count. Now you can handle this exception here. Suppose if there is any other user with the same name, because username is a primary key or not? Yes. We have taken username as a primary key. We have taken username as a primary key, right? We have taken username as a primary key. I said username is a primary key, right? So when you're saying username is a primary key, if there is any other user with the same name, is it exception is raised or not? Yes. So I can get the count here, cursor dot row count. And here I can display one message box unsuccessful. I can display one message box. Now, Kinteris provide a module, submodule called, it will provide one submodule called message box. So there are different types of message boxes will be there. Now, what is the name of the module here? Message box. You have to import. So there are different types of message boxes out there. So import. What you are importing here is import Kinter dot. Kinter dot. What is that? Message box. Import Kinter dot message box, and from message box you have a different functions out there, like show info, show warning, like that. Okay. But what you want to display? Information message box. Then what I'm saying here is Kinter dot message box dot. What is that? Show info. Message box dot show info. Now show info, it followed by, yes, in show info, it followed by the message, and it followed by show info is a title. So title here info, and here I'm saying user is what here? Registered. And then connection dot save changes using commit. Okay, otherwise, if there is any exception is there, it will come to which block? Except block, and I'm saying Kinter dot what? Message box dot show error, and this is an error window. So user what? User is what here? Exists. So there is already user with the same name. There's already user with the same name, then you'll get what? Error message. What is the error message? You'll get user exists. Let's run this here. Now there is a sign up. Now we'll just open Oracle here. SQL command line. Okay. Now you can connect. So you can write connect username system. Password is select star from. What is the table name? User register table. So one user is there. So we'll try to input another user with the user name is Naresh NIT and NIT 123. Click on sign up. Now you can see user registered. So user registered. Now can you see that here? Select star from user register table. Is it user is registered or not? Yes. Now again I click on sign up. Now this time again I enter user name is Naresh, NIT and NIT 123. But this user is already there or not? Yes. So message box spelling is Okay, so I try to run this, sign up. So username. So I try to enter the password, sign up. Now you can see the error, user exists. So click on this. Now what you can do is, yes, this is related with which one? Sign up. देखो कितना कोड लिखना पड़ता है. You have to write lot of code, right? बोला तो प्रोजेक्ट बोले तो एक दिन में हो जाता क्या? Some projects take 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 year. And maintenance for 10 years. बोलो तो errors आते रहते. Changes. Okay. So now this is only sign up and sign in functionality. But other functionality will be there or not? Yes. Other functionality, it means whatever we did. See, whatever we did in the communicating with the database, you are doing the same thing. You are doing the same thing here or not? Yes. You are doing the same thing. You are doing the same operation here, right? You are doing the same operation here, not a new one, right? Okay. Okay, now next you have to write which one? Sign in. So sign in is nothing but verifying whether this user is exist or not. So already connected, right? Now we have to create first window. Window 2. Now after sign up, what you can do is you can discard or dispose this particular window. So how can you delete this window? You can delete the window object by using delete, or you can say window dot dispose. Dispose means it will just remove the window once sign up is what done. Otherwise that window is displayed or not. Yes. Sign in window is there. Now create another window. Window 2 equal to t dot tk. Again creating a window and defining the size of the window. Defining the size of the window, right? Again, size of the window. Again, you are trying to display what? Label. Within window 2 and text is given as username. So text is a username. So text is a username. Okay, now this is first label where you try to enter username, and second label is password. First label is username and second label is what here? Password. And there is an entry field 1. So within window, so there is only font here. Width I have to define here. So font is okay. Now entry field 2 equal to t2 dot entry window 2 width is a 10. So Arial and the size is what here? 15. And there is a button. So there is a button here. T dot button within window 2. And the text of this button is, what is the text here? Sign in. Text is a sign in, and this is the font name, and this is a font size. And if I click on this, it should call which function now? Sign in function. Now here you have to write the logic for, which one? Sign in. Then you have to organize all this L1 dot grid. So row 1 and what is that? Column 1, L2 dot grid, row 2, again column 1, entry field 1 dot grid, row 1, column 2, Entry field 2 dot grid, row to column to button 1 dot grid, row 3 and column 1. So once you run this, sign in window 2, actually it is window 1 or 2. So just click on sign in. Now here your username and password. Where is it? E1. Yes. You try to enter the username and enter password, but password should not be visible, right? So here we have to write show equal to star. Star, or I just give dollar, right? So in the place of star, so NIT, so it will show you which one? Dollars, rather than which one? Stars. Any character you can give. Ah. After that, you click on which one? Sign in. Now you have to write the logic here. So ये logic आप लोग लिखना है. Okay. So you write this particular logic. Which logic? Which logic here? Sign in logic. So where you have to verify, is it that user is exist or, and if it is exist, you display one message. If it is not exist, display another message. If it is exist, you display one message. If it is not exist, display another message. And there is some more widgets out there, and tomorrow I'll explain some more widgets, and then we'll see next one will move, that is NumPy and pandas, right? So we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue, but which logic you have to write? Sign in logic you write. Sign in logic, write it. Okay. So already I said in sign in logic in the Oracle communication, I said sign in logic already. So use the same logic, but this is GUI. That is CUI. But this one is what? GUI. That is graphical user interface. Right. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow. Right. TrueTill also we'll see. क्या करते हैं यार TrueTill में गौरव? क्या करते हैं यार TrueTill सीख के? TrueTill क्या करता है? TrueTill क्या करते हैं यार TrueTill में? गौरव, what do you do with TrueTill? Drawing, drawing like, क्या करते हैं यार? बच्चों का मॉड्यूल क्या करते हैं? बच्चे लोग सीखते हो TrueTill. We'll see. Even though I'll tell you how to draw triangle, rectangle, line. Okay. So बाद में draw कर लो आप. आप बच्चे हैं, मेरे को मालूम है आप भी बच्चे हैं बोल के. Yes. So we'll see TrueTill module also. Right. Right.
Recording stopped.